something had happened, I don't know what, but 200 years after a prophecy, there he is. And called by the same name, Cyrus. Now the Jews all knew their history, and they knew this was of God. So they said, okay. And he said, all of you that want to go home can go home. Well, out of the multitude that were up there, a lot more that were taken up there, 43,360 individuals decided to go home. Well, there were servants and many other people, so there were 7,337 of them, and they went with them. All the gold that was taken out of the tabernacle, it went to Babylon, and then Cyrus gave it to them to take it back to your temple, build the temple. And all the silver vessels and all the priestly garments, horses, camels, all that they possessed, they could take with them. And what didn't come, he said, I want you that can't go, don't want to go, you give money, help them with the money. And they collected about 61,000 drams of gold. They said that's about pounds. And 250 pounds of silver. I've barely ever had a little ounce of gold in my hand, very heavy. Very heavy. But anyway, he said, build the foundation of the temple. And that, I think they were a little excited. They got to go home. Ezekiel said, I told you. That's what God said you were going to do. He's going to call you out of your graves if you like dead people, as if you were like dead people, and you're going to be filled with life and go back to the promised land. There's an old movie. It was an Academy Award. Now, if you have time, Chris will tell you all about it. But it was with John Wayne and Maureen O'Hare, and it's called The Quiet Man. And he wanted to buy a little property. And this rich widow, who didn't want it, didn't need money, she was very rich. She said, I've been here, my family's been here since the Norman invasion. We never felt like we had to build some memorial for us. Why do you want to buy that? And John Wayne said, well, not for a memorial. It's just my mother talked about it, and it just seemed like it sounded like heaven to me. He'd been a boxer. And you know, I don't need to tell you don't ever do it. I'm not encouraging it, but I tried it. You know, show I was tough. Show everybody so they wouldn't want to beat me up too much. But anyway, those gloves hurt. I mean, you know, it feels like a 2x4 hitting in your head. And I ought to know better than most. I asked a guy, you know, there's a little bit of friction in gringos, or American whites, and Mexican Hispanics. Always has been normal. And there was one I knew he had fought and he trained. And I caught him in high school. And I said, Benavides, would you help me learn how to box? He looks at me for a second, turned around and walked off. And I, you know, what do you do? I didn't think anything of it. But he said, he turned around and called me and said, you meet me down at so-and-so clubhouse Tuesday, 8 o'clock. And he taught me. And he trained me. He was good. We became the best friends. Great big guy came in one time. He was about that much taller than me. Not real fat. He was skinny. Benavides walked over to me and said, now when you're fighting a guy taller than you, just keep pumping like that right in his face. So I went out, I said, all right, and here we came. We're going to box. And I started just, and all of a sudden I looked around. He's down on the floor. It worked. It was just like Benavides said. It was good training. But nevertheless, they had all those pounds of silver. And they had all the people behind them. And they had a lot of money. Now they can establish their homeland again. I don't know if we can feel the same way they felt. Someone take me out of Texas and I never saw my brethren again. You know, someone says, we're going to put them back, and you'll see all kinds of brethren. I wonder, so what that would be like. But all of it began to happen, as God said. Well, I've looked at it yesterday. I told Trent, Trent, I've tried in this sermon to come up with lessons I never noticed. And so I tried, and probably halfway failed. But I thought, here's a lesson for you. Everything God says is going to happen. Every promise He ever gave is true. He'll keep it. And every warning, if you don't turn, that's going to happen also. I'd walk outside today and feel very much safe. I don't understand how I could get voted best sense of humor in high school. And I don't go around laughing all the time. It's just not that kind of world. But you could, if you would think on God's promises, and they're going to happen. Well, you'll feel a thrill maybe. I was going up to visit a guy in the hospital. He was on the island of Iwo Jima in World War II. And now he had brain cancer. Couldn't imagine that. And I was standing by the car, and I was thinking, I don't want to go up to him and talk about the rain. I don't want to go up there and talk to him about did he fish, what did he do in life. I want to talk about something important, the promises we have. I went up there and I began to talk to him. We were acquainted. So I said, did you know when we die, we're going to see our first angel, at least. And I got him thinking. And I said, it's all going to be wonderful. I'll tell you how I made it sound, like a little bit like I did to my grandson one time. He was sitting with me in church on my knee, and I said, Adley, there's a place where there's all the candy you can eat. Just reach out and take it. And there's a place where you don't get any more spankings. Everything is peaceful. And there's a place you'll be with your friends to just play, trying to make a heaven for him to get the idea in his mind. And he turned around and he said, maybe I can go there. Well, I imagine he'd want to. Well, and I got to tell him for real as he grew up about heaven. And I taught him Ross the gospel. My two grandkids obeyed the gospel. Adley was the type of grandchild, he would never do what you told him. He's going to do it on his own. And so sure enough, it was probably a month or two later, he's walking up the aisle. He was going to get baptized, but he stared at me. Like, see, I do it when I'm ready. And he came forward and was baptized. Everything God said to us, angels, right now they're ministers, servants of ours who are going to inherit salvation. It's all as God says. So that's one lesson for you. Someday, you're going to be in the real wonderful place. You're old enough that I don't have to make believe like I did with Adley. And you're old enough to know that everything that God says is going to happen. You're going to sing before God. And someone said, like Mark Twain, well, if all we're going to do in heaven is sit around and sing to God, I think I'd almost rather go the other place. I said, you missed the point. I thought to myself, why are they singing? Why are they so happy? That's the point. I noticed in a football game when Dallas Cowboys scored that touchdown in the big show-off between them and Arkansas, or between them and the Giants, I believe it was. It might have been. It doesn't matter to me. But anyway, one of them caught the football and just stepped across the goal like that. And everyone went wild. And it was just cheering and going on. Now, I could have said, if I'd have been from outer space or Arkansas or somewhere, no. I'm teasing. I could have said, what, are they crazy? What, is that all they're going to do the rest of the day? Just stand around and cheer and feel good and slap each other on the back?